Welcome to Caching Waves. This is an Elliott Wave update for MANTA. It's been a minute and it's starting to look good again, so I wanted to make an update on that. Now before I get into this entire count, just wanted to make you aware there is price history where there is a wave here and here. So this is technically three waves, just not on this chart. We've got a three wave move back, so looking for this to be more of a third wave in a diagonal if we're bullish, then five wave move up from here. So I'd be looking more for a 5, 3, 5, and this would end up being like a 1, 2, 3, and then we get a pullback for our 4 in a diagonal pattern rather than a impulse. So now that we know that, let's talk about what we ended up getting. As you know, this was a very complicated structure. Ended up being stopped out on this one. Originally we had this drop, got that one. Looking for this to be it was more of a WXY to the upside we were looking for. This ended up being a Y wave, very complex, where we got an ABC, and this is probably a WXY, a very choppy overlap. We came between the 618 and the 786 of the retracement from the move to the downside, and we got a three wave move after this. So most likely a WXY, very, very complex, as you can see, very hard to judge what's happening, which is why in these situations, it's best to rely on fibs rather than a wave count. If we took this move projected from the high on the X wave, you can see we hit the 1-to-1 to the tick at 221, just came through that a little bit in a single candle. So for this bullish scenario, that is our low. Hit the 1-to-1 in time. Our wave W off our X came just between the 618 and the 1-to-1 in time of this wave. So pretty much ideal pivot point. 1-to-1 and almost the 1-to-1 in time. So off this low, currently projecting this as a wave 1, as a diagonal, three wave patterns to the upside. We got our wave 2 potentially in, potentially still ongoing. We're between the 618 and the 786, spike through that, rejected. One thing of note is every time we drop below this level, we're getting bought up very quickly, which means there's a lot of buying pressure here, which is a good sign for MANTA. Now this happened a little too quick for me to be considered complete, so more likely what I think we're going to get here as an ABC as a diagonal, AB C wave diagonal here as a B wave, and then we get a quick C wave down to complete our wave 2. We can come up between the 1.236 and 382. You know, I always put those on. That's the extension of this move to the downside for a pivot for our B wave, and then looking for a 618 to a 1-to-1 of this move to the downside, projected off that for our wave 2 to complete. Now ideal time for that is I took our wave 1 and projected it into the future, the 618 to the 1-to-1. That's on Friday, March the 8th, and between Sunday there. Nothing says we have to do that. That's more of a guideline than anything for me when things happen very quickly, so I don't panic and just instinctively get in, you know. But in that flat scenario, this wave should get protected. We shouldn't make a new low below that if we get a higher high above the wave 1 here, which price would be at 235.55. That's where my absolute stop would want to be. Now, depending where we get our B wave complete, in a running flat, we just have to break that high. This is guidelines up here between the 236 and 382. But wherever it ends, you'd pull your pivot from, and that would be your target zone between the 618 and the 1-to-1 extension. But as you can see, it's looking quite bullish. I'm looking for an entry on this one. I am not in it currently. If we pass the 1.618 extension and close above, I would consider that was all of our wave 2. We will not know until we get it, but I am anticipating just a fast little sell-off once we break this one to get into our wave 2. And then off to the races we go into price discovery. All right, guys, so that's it for MANTA. It is looking good. I will update this one because I'm looking for an entry into it myself, so I will be doing updates on this one. All right, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.